Before I begin the regular city council meeting, I would like to inform members of the public that I will be taking public comment for non-agenda public comment and for items on the agenda via our teleconference line. Those wishing to address the city council may call 562-299-6622 when I make that announcement. Persons speaking are limited to a maximum of 3 minutes. Your comments will be recorded and you will be advised when your time has ended. Once your time has ended, the call will be immediately disconnected. For those who have submitted their comments via email, your comments will be read into the record at the appropriate times during the meeting, and no additional public comment will be permitted via teleconference. I would now like to call to order the regular city council meeting. City Clerk Duarte, will you please take roll?
Yes, Mayor, before I call the roll, I would like to inform members of the public that Mayor Pro Tem Frometa and Councilmember Ashton are participating in this council meeting via teleconference. Councilmember Ashton?
Here.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Here.
Councilmember Saab?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Frometa?
Present.
And Mayor Pacheco.
Present. I would now ask Councilmember Rick Rodriguez to do the invocation for us.
Will you please join me by rising? Heavenly Father, we thank you, Lord, for this opportunity to serve at this capacity. And Lord, we pray for our police and our fire departments, our school district, our city staff, Lord, all those who serve in this community, and all of our residents within 11 square miles of this city, Lord. We pray you guide us and guard us and watch over us, Lord. We pray you would help us be exactly what you want us to be. Lord, we aim to serve you, Lord, and we invite you here to this day. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I would now ask Councilmember Saab to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes. Please place our flag and right hand over your heart. Ready, begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Now is the time for City Council member announcements, requests for future agenda items, conference meeting reports. I will start off to my far left with Councilmember Saab.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Welcome, everyone. It continues to be interesting times in our world. I think this is our 5th month now in the current pandemic, and we just want to encourage everyone to continue to doing your part. Our parts are, staying home as much as possible, wearing your mask, and obviously practicing social distancing. The city continues to function and work hard to provide the services. I know that our residents are doing their part as well and doing what they can and not gathering. But we ask that we continue to keep that resolve. Obviously, we're all in this together. We just want to make sure that we make the effort, and sooner rather than later, hopefully this thing will go away. I did want a few people in the audience I did want to recognize. We have we're very fortunate here in Downey. We have many service clubs. I always say that the two principal checks and balance, I guess you could say, in the community are having, and we're fortunate to have our local newspaper and our service clubs. Our service clubs, they have different functions. Obviously, most of them is to provide service and care for our community, but they also tend to have people that are involved in the community and that know what's going on, and they participate and they engage. And so tonight I do want to welcome 2 important people that are part of a Kiwanis Club that I'm a member of, along with Councilman Rodriguez. And we have Steve Roberson, and also Ron Kohler in the back. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. I know our mayor's also part of a Kiwanis Club, but it's a different Kiwanis Club. But we're all for service. So I just want to thank both of you for all you do for our community. I know. I think we mentioned last time, but I went back this weekend. Rode a bike with my kids to Furman Park, and boy, if you haven't been there, I tell you, it's. I think everyone will be pleasantly surprised. Furman Park really is a prime example of the Measure S funds put to good use. The landscaping, the tennis courts, the buildings, additional 21 spaces parking. So if you haven't had a chance. Go out there and enjoy some time, and the walking trail. That walking trail is put to great use, and I just want to thank everyone that was involved in that. I'll keep my comments short. There's one item I did want to mention. If we can come back, staff can come back to with an item for the council to discuss, and what it is. I think there's times that we have contracts that are renewed and not put out to bid, and sometimes those contracts or service contracts are extended for a long period of time after several renewals. And I like to just maybe discuss a policy where it would have to go out to bid once 10 years has passed of renewals. I think that's just something that we should discuss, and it might be a good fiscal policy for our community. I don't know if I was clear enough. If I made myself
Councilor, no, absolutely. Our charter has a 10-year provision, so we can take a look at something that sort of mirrors that. But yes, I understand what you're saying.
I think the charter, correct me if I'm wrong, is for you can't go into a contract for 10 years.
That's correct.
Right, but I think what I was maybe referring to is
the total length.
Exactly, the tolling. So if we can do that in the next couple of meetings, that would be great. And then speaking of Furman Park earlier, I'm not sure, I don't recall. I know we were involved in the design, but in the past, the play area had a little fence around it for the little kids, and two parents have, and my wife being the third one, had mentioned if we can look into putting also a nice fencing around the little kid area. I think that was something that many parents with young kids appreciated, just because obviously little kids tend to wander off. I think one of the sides has a fence, but the other one doesn't, if I recall. And I think the one with the smaller jungle gym may be, just a good idea, just because of the age of the kids. And that concludes my comments, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. Next up, we have Mayor Pro Tem Claudia Frometa.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody. It's a pleasure to join this council meeting via Zoom. I recently traveled, and as an abundance of caution and courtesy for my council members and the city staff, I decided to join via teleconference. We continue to remain vigilant of this virus, and we also continue to remain hopeful that better times are ahead of us. Because I was gone for several days, I will keep my comments short. I would like to ask the public also to continue to remain vigilant. I think we're all experiencing severe fatigue with what we have been experiencing since March. And certainly what has continued to unfold before us has not made it easy on any of us, but certainly the health and the well-being of our communities is of great concern and of interest to all of us. But also, I do want to encourage all of us that if you know of anyone that in our community that is going without, there are many organizations currently in our community that are involved in food banks, also for mental health considerations. There are people that continue to be socially distancing to the point of feeling a great sense of loneliness. And so while there may be people that continue to gather, there are others that remain pretty secluded. And so we need to continue to extend our hand. And certainly if there are those that are in need, please, I would like to ask our city staff. I know we've been very good about in our social media platforms continuing to have the various important information regarding COVID-19, whether it may be the masking protocols or the social distance protocols. But I would like to ask the staff to continue to please have the mental health component also top of mind. And also I would like to ask the staff to look at for ways to also have the noise ordinance that we've discussed. I think over the last several meetings, we brought up issues regarding neighbors and residents in our community complaining of loud parties continuing over weekends and during daylight. And there are people that, while many have lost work, others do continue to have jobs, and sometimes those parties or the loud music continues during the day hours while people are trying to sleep. So if we can have the staff be a little more vigilant in terms of getting that information out to the public, I think our community needs to understand where we stand with that noise ordinance. And also, I think I've requested this from our police department before, but also continuing to remain vigilant regarding those individuals that are racing down our streets. I've experienced that over the last couple of nights in a couple of our main thoroughfares. There are people that do have some extra time on their hands, and so we need to continue to remain vigilant on that. Those are all my comments, Madam Mayor. Thank you.
Thank you, and welcome back.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Councilmember Sean Ashton.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll keep my comments brief. I had an interesting conversation with a resident who had a concern about parking, and it was brought to my attention that in our municipal code, we prohibit parking on driveways for any length over 72 hours. Considering the time that we're in right now with the pandemic, we have a lot of people who are working from home, and if you're to kind of drive around and have people get cited for things like that, I would be guilty of it because I've got one car that hasn't moved in a couple of months. So maybe we can look into having that part of the code at least put off for now during this time. So when push comes to shove, that's one less thing that people have to worry about during this pandemic time. So with that, I just ask that everyone who's watching to continue wearing your masks and continue the social distancing protocols. And if we keep doing that, we'll get through this together. Thank you, Madam Mayor. That concludes my comments.
Thank you. Next up, we have Councilmember Rick Rodriguez.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for allowing me to sit in this seat. As Councilmember Saab mentioned, normally our schedules are pretty jam-packed with things to do all throughout the city and around the state. And now that people are staying home and maintaining social distancing, it's very difficult for nonprofits and certain organizations. And so in the past 2 weeks, I've been able to at least help out with a few. The organization Living Help that's right here in Firestone Boulevard, they did a little, I don't want to say car show because it was a dine outdoors at Bob's Big Boy. I was able to help them raise a few funds for the organization, as well as the Department of Children and Family Services. We did a drive-through graduation, and we're fortunate that in our city, 100% of our foster kids graduate, and that's something that I'm very proud of. We had a number of kids from all different cities, from Bellflower, from Pico, Santa Fe Springs, that drove through the graduation, and we were able to celebrate with them. I met yesterday with a group called Operation Jumpstart via Zoom. It's a Long Beach-based group, and they're doing very similar things that we're doing. We're able to collaborate with them a little bit to help get young people in high school that are struggling and mentor them from 8th grade all the way to graduation and on to college, military, or job trade school. So even though we're not able to do as much as before, we can do some things. One of the things I'd like to mention for Staff Gilbert is that, Dave Gaffin, as we all mentioned last meeting, our former mayor and our former council member, was very involved with our Downey Chamber of Commerce. And so when I was the president of the chamber, Dave was on council. When I got on council, Dave went back to the chamber to serve another term on the chamber. So I would like to put as an agenda item, put on the agenda of dedicating the Downey Chamber of Commerce office named after Dave Gaffin. So I don't know how that all works, how we do that, other than put on the agenda, let's discuss that. But I think it's something that Dave was a true champion for our city, for our business community. I think that would ring nicely with the chamber. So that's it for me, Madam Mayor.
Thank you. So I want to welcome everyone who's joining us at our council meeting, either in person or who are watching us virtually. These are extremely strange times, so I appreciate everyone being able to participate or finding a way to participate in your council meetings. As mentioned, we've been doing a lot of meetings virtually. I'm sure a lot of you have become experts now on Zoom meetings, and I actually participated in one of our neighborhood watch meetings via Zoom. So if anybody is still interested in doing neighborhood watch meetings, we can do them over Zoom. And as was mentioned, Furman Park is open, so if you haven't had an opportunity to go to Furman Park, please visit our local park. We have both Furman Park and Golden Park that are now opened, and both look fantastic. Also, I continue to do my weekly videos, and I will continue to do so. And I did want to mention there will be a census caravan in the southeast cities, and it will start in Montebello at 9 a.m. It is anticipated to reach Downey at 1 p.m. The location for the meeting point will be at the Rio Hondo Golf Course. And again, it's a caravan, so people will be driving through the city promoting the census. So if you haven't had an opportunity to do the census, please do so. It's important to be counted. And as everybody knows, our COVID numbers are rising. So I want to remind everyone to please wear your mask. I have my mask here. Try to maintain social distancing. And I know many of you have many family and friends who've been affected by COVID. I've had family and friends who have been affected. And what I've been told is this is a virus that needs to be taken serious. Those people that have been affected, they do not wish this virus on anyone else. So please, I can't stress this enough. Please wear your mask when you're outside. I know I'm not wearing my mask right now, but you can't hear me when I have my mask on, but I do wear my mask when I'm out in public. And again, we will get through this, but we all have to do our part. So now is the time for the Mayor's Impact Award, so I will be going down. So can everybody hear me? Can you all hear me? Okay. So this year, my award is the Mayor's Impact Award. And the purpose of this award, hard to talk. So the purpose of this award is to recognize individuals who have made an impact on our community. And these individuals that I will call up, they have made an impact on our community. These are special individuals who have gone well above and beyond what normal residents do. They have just been a prime example for other residents. So I'm going to call up Candy, Lupe, Sam, and the whole family, and Candy's son. So Candy, she runs the She has managed and run the Positively Downey Facebook page. So the way we met is because I noticed nothing but positive messages on her Facebook page. And when she reached out to me that she wanted to do something for our police department, I thought it was a wonderful idea. And so she organized a community parade to thank and recognize who are our police officers. Because what she told me is that she's seen a lot of positive comments thanking our police officers. And what she wanted to do was to set up a parade to thank them. And then I will have the Olive come up, Lupe and Sam. So Lupe and Sam, they've been involved in the community. Their kids continue to be involved in the community. And in the city of Downey, we are a city that is involved. We are a city that is engaged. And they are a prime example of what community servants are. Both Sam and Lupe share that model with their kids, and their kids have been involved. And so to Sam and Lupe, I want to thank you. And their involvement in the parade was they donated food to our officers. So to both, I thank you. I thank you not only for your involvement in the parade, but I want to thank you for being so positive during these tough and difficult times. So because of that, I have for each of you the Mayor's Impact Award. But I'm going to call Officer Diaz to come up, and he will say a couple words.
Madam Mayor, thank you. I have a little speech just so I made sure everything sounded right and I didn't miss anything. Like Madam Mayor said, these are some strange and difficult times. First off, we'd like to thank the city manager, Mr. Gilbert Livas, Mayor Blanca Pacheco, and City Council. It's a great feeling knowing that the city stands behind us. But it's also a great feeling knowing that the residents of the city of Downey stand behind us and support us. The men and women of the Downey Police Department believe in what we do, and we believe in our mission. In part, our mission states, the Downey Police Department exists because of the community we serve. We are an organization of professionals committed to providing the highest level of police service in a sensitive and positive manner to all. Regardless of race, creed, or lifestyle, we recognize the value of human life and the dignity of all people and strive to treat those with whom we come in contact with fairness, compassion, and respect. The recent community parade was proof that we are loved and valued by our community. A big thank you to Candy, who coordinated the parade, and to the Olive Resto Bar. Sam and Lupe, thank you for the food donation. I'm grateful to be a part of this department and to be a part of this community. Thank you.
So for both of you, in recognition of your selfless dedication and always going above and beyond for others, your heartfelt efforts and accomplishments have been of enormous value to our community and have helped to further the common goal of making our city a better place for all. Thank you.
I want to thank the community for all the support you've been for all these years. My name is Sam Sarofim. I'm part of the Olive Resto Bar and the Green Olive in City of Downey. And also I want to thank God. Could be worse, or we thank God every single day where we are right now. A special thanks to everyone in the city of Downey, all the city council, also Downey Police Department for keeping us sacrifice every single day for keep us safe. They put their life to keep the community safe. And we honored to be here today. God bless everyone, and hopefully you get this pandemic over with. Thank you, guys.
Good, sir. Good. Almost candy.
We'll take a quick 2-minute break. Now is the time for non-agenda public comment. Members of the public wishing to address the City Council regarding non-agenda public comment may now call our teleconference 299-6622. For those who submitted comments via email, your comments will be read into the record and no further public comment via teleconference will be permitted. Before we begin the non-agenda public comment period, I would like to remind members of the public participating telephonically that the city's meeting rules contained in the Downey Municipal Code prohibit any conduct that disrupts, disturbs, or interferes with the orderly conduct of the meeting, even if you are participating telephonically. Each speaker shall have 3 minutes to address the council on issues that are within the city's jurisdiction. Since we are under a federal, state, and local emergency declaration, and Los Angeles County Safer at Work and in the community order, I will limit this non-agenda public comment period to 30 minutes pursuant to Downey Municipal Code Section 2105G. Members of the audience who wish to address the council regarding non-agenda public comments, non-agenda items may now come forward.
La Malinche, Malinche. Who are the sellouts? Well, Malinchistas are bad people, grossly irresponsible under the color of law, 18 U.S.C. 242, 245.
Mr. Herman, just a minute.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh.
Go ahead.
So going back to the grossly irresponsible people of the systemic racism under Build Back Better, who the asshole to write that? What BBB doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about, Joe Biden? File number 20-1161541 001 for the record, filed July 16, 2020, board number 2022-01, call 213-974-1913, the infamous number 13. And why is that? Because, again, we have some shitholes up there, down there, and all over, grossly, irresponsibly talking about people in our Department of Justice. California, Eric Swalwell, SWALWELL, Ted Lieu, Louis Gomet, Steve Cohen, and the list goes on, jackasses. Yeah, Cedric Richmond. No, it was not. Well, what the fuck does Hakeem Jeffries know about politics? And that cunt Debbie Lesko from Arizona know about the Second Amendment. Now we shall defend our country, good or bad, with the response of protecting our federal fucking government buildings. from assholes who terrorize and torture our fucking monies when you tear down the buildings and burn them and loot them and graffiti them? When does this irresponsible of negativity and hate end? It ends when the fucking liars from Washington, Democrats and Republicans, put their foot up their fingerish ass and listen to the public. We're tired of being poor. We're tired of being looked down. We're tired of being immigrants. We're tired of being looked down as those of the irresponsible when you can't fucking get COVID-19 in a grip. So fuck the Board of Supervisors, those stupid cunts, those 5 members, and I have to thank Downey for having an open meeting. One thing good.
Thank you, Mr. Herman. Can we clean the podium? Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
My name is Ron Kohler. I'm a 62-year resident of Downey. I moved to Downey straight from after graduate school and have really appreciated and loved the city. I reside at 10639 Lorena, number 102. I'm just here to thank the city council people for the tremendous job they do and the abuse they take. I really, really appreciate you, and you do a tremendous job. I'm very thankful for you, and I'm sorry that sometimes you take a lot of abuse, but you are one of the 2 best councils I've ever known in all this time. And I've never missed an election in Downey, and hope to continue for a number more. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate your comments.
Thank you.
I hope my brothers and sisters in blue understand the spirit of this message I'm going to give to the City Council. Lee Squire, Vietnam veteran, I speak for the 58,479 brothers and sisters who never returned from the Vietnam War. They need a spokesman, and that person is me. Member of the American Legion, civil rights advocate for the elderly and the disabled. Good evening, Mayor, City Council, and to we the people of this community. All children's lives matter. Subject local policing and failures to support them by their communities of other cities. There are efforts to abolish local policing, and these who are the defenders of law and order and safety and security of every community. When elected leaders tie the hands of local policing, this is betrayal to local policing. When leaders of the military veterans groups do not speak up, this is disappointment also to their local policing agencies. Federal intervention. We the people are the government, and the elected and paid employees serve we the people. We the people are the government. We the people of the cities of Seattle, Portland, New York, Chicago need to speak up and ask the President for federal intervention. The military veterans in these cities need and have a duty to unite and have written protests for federal intervention. I thank God for the city of Downey, and I thank God this never happened here. Thank you for your time and attention.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm going to be very brief, maybe 30 seconds. My name is Steve Robertson. Darlene and I bought our first house in Downey. Haven't been here as long as Ron, but I'm close. And I'm not as old as him, but I'm close also. We bought our first house on Lubeck Street in 1976. Our kids grew up here in Downey. They went to Price, Griffith, and Warren High School. And I you know, I've lived here or been involved with this city now for 44 years. I cannot be happier with the city of Downey, and I wanted to come here tonight to say thank you, not just to the mayor and the councilman, and councilwoman, but to the staff here. You know, the people don't know what you guys do to help this city run. You know, the one example, and I'll leave. The YMCA is going to build a new facility at Sussman Middle School, and not only did the councilman help me, but I saw Aldo sitting over here. I couldn't answer a lot of questions. The school district is going to lease us land at Sussman Middle School, and I couldn't answer a lot of the technical questions, so I called Aldo, and I said, Aldo, can you help me go, because I don't know what I'm going to run into. And he jumps at that and goes with me to the meetings and helps me. And I could go on and on and on with Alex has helped me, Blanca's helped me, Rick has helped me. You guys just help everybody in this city. I'm so proud to be here. I'm so proud to be a part of it. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank the council people and the staff that make Downey run. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We're going to clean the area.
Can I ask for 5 minutes?
No.
You guys said that you would grant 5 minutes if people asked for it in previous meetings.
Please come forward.
So that's enough. I want to start off by asking why you weren't at the Central Basin meeting yesterday or today.
Mr. Martinez, please direct your comments
That's
to
a
me.
violation of the Brown Act. I can address anyone, so I will ask you to respect my time, Madam Mayor. Why were you not at the Central Basin today?
This
or
is a
yesterday?
warning. Please address your comments to me.
So I want Downey to know that our representative assistant manager at the Central Basin did not attend his meetings. He was supposed to attend a special meeting yesterday at 10 a.m., and he was supposed to attend one today at 1 p.m. The purpose of that meeting was to establish an agenda. The agenda needs to be placed to make a budget for the year. Without establishing a budget, the Central Basins will struggle to make their financial dues, pay their employees, and uphold themselves in action. So what this guy is doing strategically, John Askewy and Robert Apodaca are strategically breaking quorum and failing to appear to these meetings because they know that if they refuse to appear to these meetings, they cannot be upheld, and then no action by the Central Basin can continue. So by the way, this is the third month that we're saying that these people are trying to dismantle the water agency that represents 2.4 million people in the LA County, including people here in Downey. So if you live here in Downey and this bill SB 625 passes, you will no longer have the right to vote, and you will not have an elected representative representing you and your area. That is a violation of your civil rights, your rights to vote, and your rights to be represented. And because this bill targets an area that's predominantly of people of poverty, color, and migrant people, this is a racist bill that attacks our people. So once again, sexist, violence instigator who's on video, and you've all been told about this, has not been fired, is not going to work, and he's making over $300,000 of a salary to do nothing. So your tax dollars, Downey, are paying for this guy to dismantle your voting rights and your representation. So I'm gonna ask Sean and I'm gonna ask Alex, put it on the agenda to fire John Askewy immediately. I need a majority vote to get that done. I know you guys can do it. Your refusal to help out the community when someone is clearly attacking our public agency is a terrorist act against the people, and it's a violation of civil rights. And when I get a chance, we are gonna talk more about the problems with COVID-19 in our city and how the elected members like Blanca Pacheco have failed to do anything as numbers are skyrocketing in our city as one of the most impacted areas.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Can we clean the area? You may come forward.
Buenas tardes. I'm going to speak in Spanish because if you know, there's 80% of Latinos in this city and we had to get an interpreter in here. So I'm going to speak Spanish.
Ms. Alvarez, I'm gonna translate for you, so
Yes,
just say
I
a
know,
few
I
words
have to
and then
take my
let me,
time.
let me proceed
sure.
with the translation.
Of
Thank
course.
you. Go ahead.
Okay. El estar aquí parada
Being here standing before you
es, y el estar hablando en español,
and to be speaking in Spanish,
hago que ustedes pongan atención
I make you pay attention
que aquí en la ciudad de Downey
that in the city of Downey,
hay un 80% de habla hispana.
there's an 80% of a Spanish-speaking community.
Y de este modo es de que yo voy a hacer, no sé si como le quieran llamar protesta o le quieran llamar exigimiento,
And this is what I will do to protest or, can't think of the word, force you
a que pongan un intérprete
to have an interpreter
para esas personas de habla hispana.
for the people that are Spanish speaking.
Ahora, otro punto es,
Another point is,
la vez pasada que yo vine,
the last time that I was here,
no me dejaron entrar,
they didn't let me in.
según porque ya los asientos estaban llenos.
Supposedly because the seats were already taken.
Ahorita miré que allá atrás pusieron sillas
Right now I saw that in the back you have some chairs
para la familia que le dieron su premio.
for the family that received their award.
Tienen espacio para hacerlo, porque quitaron las sillas ahora.
You have space to do that, why did you remove the chairs?
No solamente estaba yo, había otra familia con un problema que estaba en agenda.
Not only was it me, there was another family here with a problem for an item that was on the agenda.
Así que hago petición y exijo que si así lo pueden hacer para una familia que le van a dar algo para saber que ella está haciendo algo positivo para la ciudad,
So I ask you and demand that if you're going to do that for a family that is receiving an award for doing something positive for the city,
también lo pueden hacer para que las otras personas que viven aquí o no viven dentro de la ciudad, pero quieren entrar al meeting,
you can also do that for all the other families that do live in the city and those that don't, that want to come into the meeting.
puede estar las sillas ahí para ellos.
The chairs can be there for them.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other members wishing to speak? City Clerk Duarte, do we have any speakers on the phone?
We do, Mayor.
Move to close the
Speakers on the phone?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, and here we go with the first call.
Yes.
Please state your name and begin speaking.
Speakers on the phone? We do, Mayor.
Please state your name and begin speaking.
Yes. My name is Josephine, and I'm calling in. I'm concerned about your employee, John Askewy. Or I'm sorry if I mispronounced his name. It's odd to me, but anyway, I didn't, intend to. But he is getting paid taxpayer money to represent Central Water Basin, which also services your city, City of Downey. And it just burns me up, and it burns up other taxpayers that he is not showing up to his job there. I mean, I beg you, City Council of Downey, do something, because this is not right. And he's not only affecting your city, he's affecting other cities in southeast Los Angeles. And I find it appalling, and it makes me wonder why he's not showing up to the board meetings. I'm wondering if there is some type of white-collar crime going on. It's ridiculous, and it shows us how much our democracy has deteriorated. It's all about the money. It's all about you people getting up to the top and getting your share. And I also have suspicion that people high up in the California Democratic Party are also encouraging John Askewy not to go to his work. And damn it, as I said before, he's getting paid money. If I don't show up to my job, guess what? I get fired. But somehow, because he's made it to the top in LA County, you know, that echelon, you know, he doesn't have to show up to his job. How corrupt. I grew up back in the 70s hearing my parents and other adults talk about how corrupt Mexican politics was. Well, guess what? It's here now, and it's disgusting. And I reject it, and other taxpayers reject it also. That's all I have to say about this horrible corruption that is going on in Downey City Council. You are complicit in it. And I also believe Anthony Rendon is pushing this, and Cristina Garcia also. It's a whole damn setup. And no, we don't want Flint, Michigan here.
Your time is up. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any other callers?
Yes, Mayor. Please state your name and begin speaking. Please.
Hello.
Yes, please begin speaking.
Sorry, can I be heard?
Yes.
Yes. Hello, my name is Chris Enriquez, and I am a resident of Downey. My comment is in regards to the general fund budget. I find it pretty egregious that the community development section of the budget is being so funded so minimally compared to other parts of the budget, especially in regards to the part of the budget that's being funded the most, which is the police department, and that is getting the majority of the budget, around, I believe, close to 40%. But what I also think is which is a pretty sad disparity to see across the budget, is that compared to last year, investment in community development has gone down, while investment into the police department has gone up. And I think that, especially during times like COVID, that investing more into the community and the development of it should be paramount, especially during these times. And it's unfortunate to see that there is actually a reduction in that part of the budget. But my comment is to implore Downey City Council to look into this budget again and find ways to amend it so that the community development section has more funding instead of only, I believe, 4.8%, which is one of the lowest in the budget. So that is my comment for today. Thank you.
Thank you. Please state your name and begin speaking.
So my name is Rodolfo. So first off,
Sorry,
there is no
excuse me.
regulation.
Excuse
there
me.
is no regulation about
Just a
me
minute.
not being
Just
able
a minute.
to call.
Madam City Attorney.
There is no regulation.
Just a minute. Can we stop the
followed
time?
all the instructions. I called, and I was allowed in. I am allowed to give my
I think it
public
would be
comment
best
at this time.
would be for this gentleman to come to the podium and speak, because this is
I
very
can do that.
it's very disruptive and distracting.
Thank you.
So he can simply just come to this podium and speak his mind.
Okay.
All right. So, first off, I want to talk about I totally agree with the speaker who is going to be sitting up there where Rick Rodriguez is sitting come November and next year. It's unacceptable that you have essentially special classes here for participation. So, you can draw in your supporters who you gave a nice award to and say that, oh, they get special seats, they get special attendance. That's unacceptable. You should really have equitable access to the city council meetings. And if that means that no one gets a special award, well, then so be it. But you shouldn't have special seats for special people that you favor. So it's time to, again, uphold that claim that you claim, Ms. Blanca Pacheco, that you uphold equality under the Constitution. No, you don't. You uphold favoritism under the Constitution. Okay, so that's to start off. But I am really disturbed at one of the comments that you gave in your opening remarks, Mayor. You said you invited people to participate in one particular caravan. Where have you been for the other caravans that are even more important? Where were you for the caravan for canceling the rents? You claim you have this lady over here lie on your behalf. You claim that the city of Downey cannot cancel the rents because it's unconstitutional. No, rent cancellation is a form of what? Price controls. What does the government do when the people cannot afford a particular good? They have price controls. It has been established many times in our history that the government can do that. And you will say, well, I can't do it as a local official. Well, that's because you don't have the courage to. It's not because you can't do it. It's because you refuse. Because, of course, you're getting a bunch of money, right, as a bunch of you are, from the suffering of other people. Yeah, we got the water issue come up. Well, Ms. Blanca Pacheco, are you ready to tell the community about all the money you're getting from the water privatization lawyers? Are you ready to do that? Are you going to do that? You should, if you're going to be truly transparent, as your colleagues like Frometa claim that you are. And no, and all the people here that are landlords, when are you going to forgive the people's rents? Oh, yeah, you just want to hand out some crumbs? No, that's not what the people deserve. They deserve actual equitable treatment and dignity. But of course, you just look down and refuse to acknowledge the truth, which is that you're on your way out, the young people are engaged, and the progress is coming.
Thank you, Mr. Berrigan. And you can actually receive the Mayor's Impact Award yourself as long as you make a positive impact in the city of Downey. So anybody is welcome to get the award. So let's see that positive impact.
Hold your breath.
Mayor, I have one more call.
Okay.
Please state your name and begin speaking.
Hi, it's public comment.
Yes, non-agenda public comment. Please go ahead.
Oh, am I going to go on record right now?
Yes, your time's moving along.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. This is Current Caesar. This is my Twitter handle. I just want to reach out to you, to John O'Skewer, because you skew things in your favor. I have friends in the FBI, and I'm going to reach out to them so they can investigate you and the corrupt mayor, you and Cristina Garcia, you and your special interests with the Central Water Basin to privatize it. You have conflict of interest, and the only thing that I need to do is let them know in the FBI that I will be to file charges against you to investigate your ads for being so corrupt. You must resign from your seat. You must resign. Let the public know that John O'Skewer, because he likes to skew things in his favor, is corrupt. John, you must resign. You too, Blanca Pacheco. Maybe your holiday mother gift cards will work next year when you're not in office. And for that other crazy lady, you're so racist, Formenta. You're so racist, Formenta. You're so racist. You're the most racist woman I ever met. You think that we owe it to you because you're there. Bitch, let me remind you, you're there because the people voted for you. And the people are actually misinformed of your fucking corruption. Rick Rodriguez and Blanca Pacheco, and you're so corrupt, taking pictures with Cristina Garcia. Blanca Pacheco, why don't you disclose that you work for Olmo? The person that you work for is Lucille Roybal Allard's son. You need to disclose that. And now that agency, Olmo, is pimping you out to represent the city of Bell Gardens. And Roybal's son sits there like if he's part of the board. He's not part of the board. You're corrupt, Blanca Pacheco. Let it be known. Let the world know that you're so corrupt. And next year, you're not going to get elected. Bye.
Are there any other callers?
There's no other callers, Mayor.
Thank you.
Move to close.
Just a second. City Clerk Duarte, do we have any written correspondence on non-agenda items to be read into the record?
Yes, Mayor, we do.
We're almost done.
I didn't know there yet.
Mayor, we received an email from Brian Medina. Good evening, council members. My name is Brian Medina, and I am a community organizer with Tree People working in the city of Downey in support of our community-driven project to plant over 2,000 trees in the city's parkways and parks. As the days continue to get hotter, many of the younger trees we recently planted need a lot of help to survive the summer and warm autumn months. Tree People is doing our best to revisit these trees to water them, remove weeds, and perform necessary maintenance, but we encourage residents to help us out as well. Regular tree care ensures that these trees grow healthy and strong to give us shade and other benefits. I would like to invite the council and interested Downey residents to our Downey Virtual Tree Summit happening next Thursday, August 6th at 6 p.m. via Zoom. We will be hosting an interactive discussion with community members about the tree planting project, environmental issues in the community, volunteer opportunities, and how to work with neighbors to care for trees in the neighborhood. This meeting will also have Spanish interpretation for those who need it. Those interested in attending can reach out to me at bmedina@treepeople.org to sign up. We're excited to work with the Downey community, and we hope we can come together in person again soon. Thank you. Next, we have an email from Reagan Cameron. Good afternoon. My name is Reagan Cameron, and I have been a resident in the city of Downey for the past 19 years. I am writing to stress of my disapproval for the recent increase in the Downey Police Department's budget. The amount of money devoted to Downey PD is extremely unnecessary and unreasonable. These funds could go to other resources and social groups in our community that actually help our residents. Resources that focus on education, community upkeep, and social welfare are the ones that are most deserving of these funds. Given the current political and humanitarian crisis going on throughout the entire nation, it is absolutely despicable and shameful that the city would increase police funding at this time. Research shows that police do nothing to help the community and that the best ways to prevent crime are to invest in social programs. The city should be working and creating plans to safely and gradually defund the police while reallocating those funds to specific programs that would help our community and its residents. I urge the council to revoke their votes to increase the police budget and do the honorable and responsible thing by redirecting those funds to the proper social programs. The people of Downey will remember the names of all members on the city council right now who voted for this increase in budget, and we will remember to vote all of you out this coming election. Please take this into consideration when deciding on your stance for the police budget. Next, we have an email from Rocio Quiñones. I strongly object to increasing funding for Downey PD. In the midst of this social injustice, I cannot, in good conscience, support this effort. That money can be used to help children, help women in domestic violence situations, provide arts as therapy. There are so many other uses for that money. I will keep record in who votes in favor and make sure you do not get my support or that of like-minded individuals come election time. You work for us. Do not forget that. Next, we have an email from Josie Quiñones. Dear whoever this concerns, why are you giving the police more money? They do not deserve it. All I have ever seen the police in Downey do is drive around and harass people. They should not have so much of Downey's budget when some schools do not have enough textbooks for all the students. Why is it the police are getting more money when students do not have a chair to sit in? And then we have an email from Josephine Garcia. Actually, we received 2 emails regarding the same subject. I am calling on the Downey City Council to speak up in support of the Goya Foods boycott here in California. The bottom line is that CEO Unanue of Goya Foods financially benefits from the Hispanic Latino consumers throughout the state of California. The president that CEO Unanue so reverse has referred to Mexicans as criminals and rapists, and that an American judge was unable to do his job because he is Mexican. He has implemented a cruel system in which children and their parents are incarcerated in camps with lack of clean water, soap, toothpaste, or clean clothes. Young children were being separated from their mothers. Women and children have been sexually abused while in custody, and children have vanished, lost in the system. The president's statements and beliefs are deplorable. City of Downey is approximately 73% Hispanic Latino. Of that population, there are people of Mexican ancestry as well as Mexican immigrants. For the sake of human decency, I am asking that Ms. Blanca Pacheco and Ms. Claudia Frometa to speak out on this issue. Mayor, that is all.
Okay, thank you. Is there a motion to close public comment?
I make the motion.
Second.
Thank you. Now is the time for consent calendar items. Members of the public wishing to address the City Council regarding consent calendar items may now call our teleconference line at 562-299-6622. For those who submitted comments via email, your comments will be read into the record and no further public comment via teleconference will be permitted. Members of the audience who wish to address the council regarding consent calendar items may now come forward. Please stay on topic, Mr. Herman.
Madam Mayor, I will try my best, but without the mask. See, we got Fire Station 2 and 4 that need monies, not just to complete the projects, but to give our fire chief a raise so that he and the police chief could drive around both in a red and blue Ferrari to match our USA colors, red, white, and blue. And that reason is because on item 11, which I totally disagree, for 4 contractors, a multi-year professional tele-networking, that seems extremely hilarious. And then item 16, fair political practice. Well, there is nothing fair. William Barr put it on the record, 42 U.S.C. 1983, fuck you. Then, on the COVID issues, there are several, and I have to relate this back to the fire department. Men who risk their lives to protect our lives from the shit outside that gets you COVID-19. It's real. The fire chief should not only get a raise, he should immediately get funding to buy more gloves, more gear to protect themselves from those dirty, rotten fucking niggers out there called COVID-19. Because again, statewide, emergency service managers have failed all across our state of California. That's why there's a spike going in COVID-19, and it's going up, not to God, but going down the hell with Metallica. And again, item 20, ordinance establishing temporary moratorium for rent because of COVID-19. Well, where's Miss Frometa? She fucking hates wetbacks. She did good. She's doing well. She don't give a fuck about the others that suffer because they can't pay their rent, because they can't sell their fucking elotes on the sidewalk and streets. Shame on all you. American people struggling for a better life, and COVID-19 scares you that you have to have this little piece of shit over your face because you're afraid to fucking die. Well, wake up. I served this country. I served the county USC with patients having AIDS, respiratory disease. And I masked up, gowned up, gloved up, and I did my job all the way to the point of facts that it can kill. So stop experimenting with our fucking lives. Let's get back to work and dedicate it all on behalf of Donald Trump!
While you were on topic, you can probably clean up that language though.
Better clean up that podium.
Working on it. Working on it. Thank you, Ashton.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. Item number 8, fire stations. Currently at fire station number 3, there is no flagpole that is currently displaying the American flag. Also, there is a handicap ramp at Station 1 for the visitor interest, but there is no such similar ramp at fire station number 3. I'd appreciate a response to these observations. The American flag means everything to the U.S. military and its veterans. When the flagpole is installed and there's a first raising of the flag, I would like to be invited to honor the raising of that American flag. Until then, is there some way to display an American flag appropriately? Thank you.
Thank you. City Manager Rivas, can we look into that, the flagpole?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Buenas tardes.
Good afternoon.
Voy a hablar sobre el número 20 y 21.
I'm going to speak about items 20 and 21.
Y voy a empezar con un pasaje de la Biblia, así como ustedes también lo han hecho todo el tiempo con...
I'm going to start with a passage from the Bible, just like you do all the time.
Hay de los que establecen leyes injustas y determinando prescriben tiranía por apartar del juicio a los pobres.
Hold on a second.
You can look at it. I mean, they understand. It's fine.
Yvette, some of those words,
It's okay. I'll just read it and you can interpret the other part of it. It's okay.
It's a Bible passage if you just give us the passage.
Yes.
And then we can take the passage from there.
Isaías 10.
Okay, dame un momento, por favor.
Okay.
Mr. Herman.
City Clerk, all we need is the Bible passage, and then you make a note of it, and she can continue with her comments, and then we will look that passage up and insert it into the minutes in English.
Okay.
Okay. Hay de los que establecen leyes injustas y determinando prescriben tiranía por apartar del juicio a los pobres y por quitar el derecho a los afligidos de mi pueblo, por despojar las vidas y robar a los huérfanos. Vengo con este pasaje de la Biblia ya que ustedes son cristianos.
I come with this passage of the Bible because you are or you call yourself Christians.
Este comentario tiene que ver mucho,
This comment has to do with
ya que aquí está dejando muy en claro
that it is leaving very clear
que no podemos dejar a nuestro pueblo sufrir
that we cannot let our town suffer
solo por una mala administración.
just because of a bad administration.
Ustedes como concejales tienen el poder
You as council members have the power
de ayudar al prójimo
to help others,
tal y como lo dice la palabra.
just like the Bible states.
Ustedes han mencionado anteriormente
You have previously mentioned
que Downey no necesita ayuda.
that Downey doesn't need help.
Aquí en la ciudad hay más familias de ingreso medio
Here in the city, there are families that are
middle class.
middle class.
Las estadísticas
The
lo
statistics
contradicen.
contradict that.
Hay 101,723 personas. 101,723.
101,723.
101
There's 101,723 people,
familias en pobreza en la ciudad de Downey.
families that are poor in the city of Downey.
Eso lo dice el censo.
That's what the census says.
Y no estamos contando las personas que no hicieron el censo.
And we are not counting those people that were not counted in the census.
Los que ustedes catalogan ricos,
Those that you categorize as rich,
ingreso medio,
medium class families,
son 11,178 personas.
are 11,178 people.
Hagan su trabajo
Do your job
y ayuden al prójimo.
and help others.
We're going to clean the area. Just a minute.
A mí también me gustaría hablar en español. No voy a dar una frase de la Biblia,
I'm not going to give a Bible class,
pero sí quiero hablar de algo que habla en la Biblia.
but I do
Which
want to
item
talk
are you on? Are you?
Esto va a ser en el 21 y 22.
This is regarding item 21 and 22.
Actually, 20 y 21.
Actually 20 and 21.
Sí. Todos recuerdan, ¿verdad? En la Biblia cuando Jesús,
You all remember in the Bible when Jesus,
he chased the bankers out of his father's temple. Y eso es lo que debemos hacer.
and that's what we should do.
¿Cómo es posible que ustedes dicen que son cristianos,
How is it possible that you say that you are Christian,
pero no están haciendo todo lo posible
but you are not doing everything possible
para ayudar a las personas de bajos recursos en Downey?
to help those that are low income in the city of Downey?
Todos saben como sí tenemos a familias viviendo en la calle.
All of you know how we do have families living on the streets.
Señor Livas, ¿puede poner atención, por favor?
Mr.
Berrigan.
Livas, can you pay attention, please?
Es muy importante, especialmente para usted, porque, como sabemos, ¿ha mentido usted antes?
It is important, especially for you, because as we know, you have lied before.
Usted dijo que la mayoría de Downey no renta.
You said that the majority of Downey does not rent.
Eso es 100% falso.
That is 100% false.
60% de las unidades familiares en Downey
60% of the family units in Downey
son personas que rentan.
are people that rent.
Y eso es que hay muchas personas en esas unidades de familia.
And there are a lot of people in those family units.
No es como en algunas casas nada más sería una persona o dos que tal vez ya están de tercera edad.
It's not like those houses where there is only one or two people that are seniors.
Se trata realmente de que el pueblo necesita la ayuda máxima con esto de la renta.
What happens is that the city residents need help with half of their rent.
Estoy de acuerdo con que extiendan esta póliza que finalmente establecieron.
I am in agreement that you extend this moratorium that you established.
Pero repito, se necesita hacer mucho, mucho más.
But I repeat, there is much more to do.
Por ejemplo, ustedes pueden hacer un acto simbólico con esto de los moratorios.
For example, you can do something symbolic with the moratoriums.
Le pueden exigir al gobernador que diga 100% moratorio en California.
You can ask the governor to make this 100% moratorium in the state of California
Hasta que se termine la pandemia.
until the pandemic ends.
Porque como sabemos, el gobernador no me está dándole a ustedes el poder de hacer eso.
Because as we know, the governor is only giving you the power to do that.
Ya es hora de que el gobierno a cada nivel haga todo lo posible para ayudar a los inquilinos con la renta.
It is time that the government at every level help the tenants pay the rent.
Por ejemplo, ¿por qué no están explotando ideas innovadoras como Maywood?
For example, why are you not thinking of innovative ideas like the city of Maywood?
En Maywood intentaron, no se logró, pero se intentó agarrar los impuestos de una industria específica.
In Maywood, they attempted, it didn't happen, but they tried to get taxes from a specific industry.
Aquí en Downey pudieras subir los impuestos en Walmart, por ejemplo,
Here in Downey, you can increase the taxes at Walmart, for example,
en Best Buy.
and Best Buy.
Todas estas compañías están haciendo el dinero gracias al pueblo.
All these companies are making money thanks to the community.
Pero como ustedes saben, los precios suben y suben, pero los sueldos no.
But as you know, prices go up and up, but wages do not.
Entonces, por eso necesitamos que ya tengan las ganas de realmente ayudar al pueblo.
That's why we want you to already have the desire to help the community.
Repito, cancelar las rentas sí es constitucional.
I repeat, canceling rents is constitutional.
Es una forma de controlar los precios,
It's a form of controlling prices
que es 100% dentro de la habilidad del gobierno.
that is 100% in the government's ability.
Háganlo por su reelección, especialmente usted, alcaldesa Blanca Pacheco.
Do it with your re-election, especially you, Mayor Blanca Pacheco,
Si quiere ganar.
if you want to win.
In regards to the community and helping out people who have been impacted by COVID-19,
Which item are you on?
the one up there. In regards to that item, COVID-19 has drastically impacted Downey. We are about to reach the 3,000 COVID-19 cases that are documented here in our city. And that's not by mistake. The reason why Downey is failing, it's because its city council found it appropriate to open businesses early.
That has nothing to do with,
I'm getting there.
okay.
Thank you. So now we have an impacted city that is suffering. Unemployment is still skyrocketing downwards, and people are now losing their ability to pay rent. In fact, they've been losing it for months. They were losing it since November when the first rent moratorium was called in this city, and the mayor laughed at the people who called it, and most of the mayors, including the hero Saab, voted no against it for whatever particular reason he finds. But here it is. The city council needs to do everything in its power to protect the tenants and the renters and even the homeowners, because COVID-19 has impacted our city drastically, and the reasons why we're impacted so drastically is because of your actions in businesses, in opening businesses. You guys, particularly you, Ms. Pacheco, and Claudia Frometa, who are pro-business, had no proper plan, is poorly funding the businesses here that attract the youth. I know a few weeks ago, Mr. Livas pointed out how it's the youth who are disproportionately getting infected more now. That's because you're opening the businesses that attract the youth here in Downey. So you guys are responsible for the skyrocketing COVID-19 cases here. You're not doing your job. You haven't been able to bring down the margin line, and you're not even wearing your mask now. You know the 6 feet distancing rule only applies if you're outside because there's free-flowing air? You're not in a well-ventilated room, Madam Mayor. You're an approximate to a lot of people. This isn't a well-circulated flow of air. So you are increasing the odds of people like Mr. Rick Rodriguez over there of getting infected.
I'm good, thank you.
No, you are good, but the people that you infect
Sir,
can die.
please direct your comments to
I'm
me.
educating you because you're failing in COVID-19 guidelines. Because if you're gonna be sitting up there making decisions about the people that are impacted, who needs funding, you should understand the basics. And it seems like you don't because you're not even wearing your mask as you're up there right now.
Is this about number 21?
Definitely about that, because again, this is a result of your poor inaction.
Thank you.
And you need
Thank you,
to
Mr.
do
Martinez.
good
You
by
may
the-
step down. Any other speakers? City Clerk Duarte, do we have any speakers on the phone?
We do, Mayor. Please state your name and begin speaking.
Hi, my name is Alexandria Contreras. I'm calling in to give my support for number 20 and number 21. Currently, as stated before, we have about roughly 50% of the individuals here who live in the city of Downey and call Downey home are renters, and they need the moratorium extended for the residential tenants impacted by COVID through no fault of their own. And we should also expand the protection of evictions on commercial tenants, because there's many small businesses that I love and love to frequent and shop at that I'm afraid that aren't going to be here once COVID is over. And I am also calling in support of item number 22, the closure between 2nd and 3rd Street for temporary outdoor business use. I definitely agree that this is a good move, and that this is also something that I would like to see be done permanent, not just for COVID, but to provide a safe space for people who frequent the area at all times. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Are there any other speakers?
Yes, Mayor. Please state your name and begin speaking.
Hi, my name is Ivana. I am a resident of Downey. I'm calling in regards to the $2.4 million increase into our police department.
I'm sorry, that's not on the agenda. This is a time for agenda items.
Well, it has to do with the increase of evictions in our city.
Which item did you want to speak about?
That's an item, right?
Which one?
What item on the consent calendar are you talking about? I think
I don't-
she hung up.
She hung up. Okay.
We have one more call, Mayor.
Okay.
Please state your name and begin speaking.
Hi, I'm Jamie.
Go ahead.
State your name and begin speaking. Hi, I'm calling in behalf of support of item 20 and 21. I think that we should be extending the rent moratoriums and the rent control. I feel like it's going to be a really hard thing to do given that you all are landlords. But yeah, I'm calling in support of that, and I feel like a lot of you are very useless people, and you should all be ashamed of yourself.
I think he's done.
Thank you, sir.
Any other callers?
No, Mayor.
Okay. City Clerk Duarte, do we have any written correspondence on consent calendar items to be read into the record?
We do not.
Okay, thank you. Are there any council members that would like to remove or abstain from an item?
Madam Mayor, I have item number 5, number 10, and number 21. I need to abstain from. I own properties in those areas.
I will abstain from item number 8 as it's within 500 feet of my place of residence. And then I would also like to pull item number 22.
And I need to abstain from item number 22 because of the close proximity of my my office to the downtown area.
City Clerk, I need to abstain from item number 8 as that is in close proximity to my residence.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. I have Councilmember Rodriguez abstaining from items 5, 10, and 21. Councilmember Saab abstaining from item number 8 and pulling item number 22 for separate discussion. Mayor Pacheco, well, you're abstaining from 22, but it's being pulled. And Mayor Pro Tem Frometa abstaining from item number 8.
City Clerk Duarte.
Do you want to take a motion to approve
Move to
the
approve
consent
items.
calendar?
Yes.
Second.
Second?
I'll second.
Second?
City Clerk Duarte, can we take a roll call vote, please?
Yes. Councilmember Ashton?
Yes.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Yes.
Councilmember Saab?
Aye.
Mayor Pro Tem Frometa?
Yes.
And Mayor Pacheco.
Yes.
So we'll take 22.
Yes. And I'll need somebody to, can you take it?
Sure.
I need to abstain from
I
number
can do it
22.
from here if you don't mind. Do you mind? Is it okay if I do it from here, Madam Mayor? I don't need the gavel. I don't think. People behave. All right, thank you. Item number 22 I pulled because I think it's a good idea. I know that we're all trying to do what we can to help our businesses, but I just wanted to make sure that we have a plan in place on how to assess whether it is actually beneficial or not. Sure. So I guess my question is, because I know on the agenda it did mention, I think it was 180 days. There was a issue about 180 days, but I felt like maybe 180 days was a little bit longer. What I'd like to see is, and I just want to hear, I also want to hear what the community and what the council members have to say. Maybe assessing it every couple weeks, just to make sure. Because my concern is that the businesses that are outside of that little zone, or even some of the businesses within the zone that don't necessarily benefit from it, and then the traffic.
Sure.
That's what my concern about. City Manager, would you like to maybe address that?
Sure. Actually, it's a good question. You know, one of the things, whenever you do a project, you want to make sure that you monitor it and make sure that it's successful. And so one of the things is we've worked with the downtown bid, and it was at their behest that we actually ended up closing it. But that said, we closed it with the condition that it was a successful closing. Right now, I think there's only one business out there that actually has anything set up. So what we want to see is more businesses participating, and certainly if the other businesses don't participate, then you can call that not as successful. All right. Now that said, that doesn't mean that you can't do parklets and you can't do other things and still open up the street, which is something that Community Development Department is looking into. And so you can do things that City of Long Beach has done, City of LA. There are other cities that have done the same thing where you have parklets out there, but you still have some traffic flowing through. And those parklets.
Can you define parklets for
well,
the public?
Typically what they do is they'll go ahead and take up a couple of parking spots within in front of an establishment that is cordoned off. Usually what they're doing now is they'll have some sort of decking and fencing in order for people to congregate, have an ice cream, have dinner, whatever it may be. So right now we've closed it off. I will tell you there's other cities that it took about a couple of weeks before it took off, where you had businesses actually come out and set up. So that is something we're monitoring. Given that the order was executed, we don't have to wait 180 days. Certainly, if people don't set up out there and the businesses don't want it, we can just we can remove it. So we will be in communication with the downtown businesses district and make sure that it's something that is beneficial to them as well, and to those that want to use the area and have it a free-flowing area. So certainly you can close it off, but if nobody's out there providing services, it doesn't do anybody any good. So so we will monitor it and over the next week or two and see how it goes, and then if it looks like it's not working, we'll come back to you.
Yeah, I know today I went out there and talked to a few businesses, and I mean, it was absolutely hardly anybody there working.
Yeah.
And in fact, I didn't. Several of the businesses there weren't even open for lunch. So I guess that was just I think it's a great concept. I worry that the bad outweighs the good intention that we have, and I just want to make sure that we assess it regularly. Also, I had a question: what was the reasoning of moving the farmers market and not leaving it there?
Because as we spoke with the farmers market, they couldn't anticipate how many of those businesses would be out there, and so you had to have certain amounts of distance in between the market setting up and those particular businesses, and it just wouldn't work for them. So they actually wanted to move somewhere else. So that was the reason that it was moved away from that particular location. So again, it just went up last week. We'll monitor it and we'll report back and see what the council wants to do. So but we'll keep a close eye on it.
I think it's part of the.
Thank you.
I think it's part of the chicken and the egg, right? What comes first?
Right.
Because you have a business, and they've had no lunch traffic before, so now they have to invest in a capital investment to make the lunch crowd come, and they've already been suffering for the past 5 months with the pandemic. So what do? They spend more money in hopes they'll make more money. So it's kind of the chicken and the egg. So I think Alex is right. We need to assess it. I think maybe also we need to work with them to help them find some way to encourage more business, much like almost every restaurant in town now that has a parking lot is doing outdoor dining.
Right.
And I think that's a huge saving. I mean, I was at Pailoon earlier today. I was the one that convinced him to go outside. He didn't want to do it. And I said, look, bring tables outside and you'll see you can make some money. Had it not be them going outside now, he'd be out of business. After the fire and pandemic, he would really be struggling. So I think that we need to put our best hand forward and see how can we help them.
Absolutely. If I may add, Councilmember Saab, you definitely bring a good point. This is something that needs to be assessed. I think 2 weeks is too short of a time to really see if this is going to work. We need to consider a longer time, but also the city manager considering the COVID-19 funding for this type of situation. And again, wanting to ensure the survival of our small businesses during these difficult times. Councilmember Rodriguez put it in good, eloquently. What comes first, the chicken or the egg? That area, we haven't seen tremendous traffic, and certainly businesses have been struggling for a while. And of course, the thought of getting the tables and the space well suited for the public outside is an expense. So we can look at those disaster funds to assist in that regard, so that it's not coming out of their pocketbook, but also from the standpoint of the whole idea behind this was also to provide an additional safety net and safeguard our pedestrians in that particular area. With people getting a little more fatigued and people wanting to go and have a meal outside, still respecting the social distancing, we felt it would be necessary to allow for additional space and be mindful of the potential traffic concern or safety concerns with vehicular traffic going by those particular spaces. So again, it's a one block, and we can certainly reassess in a matter of a month, depending how things go.
So my one, well, two things, first of all. So first, I think the K-rails are helpful in making sure that we, to help deter the traffic from going into the area and protecting the people that are walking around. Ultimately, I think that's more of a temporary thing, and I'm assuming after that this whole pandemic comes or goes, the farmers market would go back to that area on Downey Avenue. I think the installation of like a removable bollards would be a good idea to consider during this time. So that way it's a little bit more aesthetic looking than just a K-rail. And like once the farmers market moves back to Downey Avenue, normally they just park cars there. And I think it kind of blocks off the access visibly for people. So, I would like to see the city look into investing, some money into putting bollards out there, so it can be a little bit more open and inviting for people to come during this time when we're having the street closed off. So the second question is this just, are we doing this just for the resident or the restaurants that are on this street, or is it any business that's on that street? Can they use some of that area to put stuff out there?
Primarily right now it's for the restaurants, because there's no indoor anything going on in the restaurants. There are a couple of businesses out there. I don't know, you have the Assistance League that has some things out there. At the end of the day, we want to make sure that we help all the businesses down there to succeed and be as helpful as we possibly can. I think what we're talking about, we want this to be successful for everybody. We want it to be a place that people gather and are able to go there without any vehicular traffic going through. At this juncture, what we're going to do is we're going to work with those businesses that are out there and encourage them to go out there. But at the same time, we want to be cognizant of the fact that at the end of the day, if those same businesses don't want it, we have to be, realistic about what we end up doing down there. So what we're going to do, though, is we're going to give it all our activity, and we are going to look at removable bollards. As you know, those take some time to get, so we wanted to get something out there right away. We could do the parklets out there, and those take some time. I think what we're doing right now is temporary in nature, and what we hope to do is something that is inviting for this period and, quite frankly, after the pandemic, so that people can go out on Downey Avenue and enjoy something in al fresco during the summer. So that's our hope, and that's what we're aiming to do. We're working hand in hand with the business improvement district. You know, the whole purpose behind the business improvement district is so that those businesses have a say in their destiny. And so what we want to do is work with them, and we'll continue to do that. I think we're all on the same page. I think we're all saying the same thing, and we're going to sort of monitor it and make sure that everybody's successful. So,
I think Councilman Ashton, a few years ago, the downtown subcommittee looked into the bollards. They're quite expensive. There's a lot of different kinds, but if you want to do the nice ones, they're very expensive. And I think the idea was we were going to wait until the business improvement district was going to form itself, and then you know, in essence, this may be a good experiment. That, you know, it may be the good time for us to try this. I know we've talked about this over many times over the years. So this is maybe a good time to see if it works, and if it does work, it might be something that the business improvement district, you know, could address those bollard issues. I mean, they are very expensive. I know people think it's just, you know, a big piece of metal, but it's over, you know, it's in the 6 digits. So so as long as we're you know, as long as we're just assessing it regularly, not just the bid, but making sure that the businesses around the area, I want to make sure that they're because they could feel some of the pain too. So I think unless there's any more comments from council members, I'd like to take public comment, please. Any other comments?
You've already taken public comment.
I was going to say one more thing. Perhaps, and I don't know if we have officially named that area, but you know, City Manager, your comment on, you know, downtown Downey dining al fresco has a nice ring to it. So if we can also, you know, come up with a nice.
I think what we're going to do is we're going to work with the group downtown. That's their charge. And what we're going to do is once we deal with this K-rail stuff, we'll put up some nice signage, put up some lights. It'll be nice. So we're just out the gate, folks. So
excellent.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for all the work that is being done. It's certainly appreciated, and I know that our business community downtown will appreciate it. I think it's, you know, it's like you said, it's new, and people are weary perhaps, and certainly cost is always an issue. And so you know, we want to be helpful and make sure that they survive in the midst of what's been happening. So thank you.
Is there a motion to approve?
Make the motion to
second.
approve.
I second.
There's a roll call.
Councilmember Ashton?
Yes.
Councilmember Saab?
Yes.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Prometa?
Yes.
And Mayor Pacheco is abstaining from this item. The motion is approved.
Thank you, Councilmember Saab. Next up, we have an administrative report. Establish a Measure S plaque ad hoc subcommittee and appoint 2 members of the City Council to serve on the ad hoc subcommittee. City Manager Rivas, do we have somebody providing this report?
Madam Mayor, I'll go ahead and give that report. So what the last time that the council met, they've asked about recognizing those groups of folks that participated in the Measure S. Certainly this is a long time coming for those listening, as they think this happened yesterday, but it's been a long time coming. For the last 3 years or so, we've been under construction. Even prior to the construction, the council had to take a vote to put that half-cent sales tax measure on the ballot. We had to go through a bond rating. I will tell you, given the fact that we are in a fiscally sound city, our bond rating is the highest bond rating it's ever been for the city, which speaks to how the city manages its finance. Why is that important? Because that means when we do need to bond for projects that we're doing now, we get the lowest possible rate. In fact, when we went to sell our bonds, we were oversubscribed, meaning there were more buyers for our bonds than we had money available. So that said, there was a lot of people involved in that process to get us to the openings of the parks that we've happened to have now. We have Dennis the Menace, we have Apollo, we have Golden Park that's been open, we have Furman Park that's been open. We're well on construction at Wilderness Park. Discovery Park is now completed, 2 fire stations. Library is probably 60, 75%, somewhere in that nature. So we're well on the way. This is the largest construction facilities infrastructure program that the city has had in its history. So there's a lot going on that has benefited the community. So that said, I wanted to have a ad hoc committee that would meet so that we can come up with an appropriate way to recognize those people that were involved in the process, and then come back to the full council in terms of laying out a program into how to recognize people that were involved in that. So with that said, I'd like to see if I can get my council members to appoint 2 people to that ad hoc committee to.
I'll be happy to serve on it.
I'll second. I'll be happy to serve on that as well.
Okay. So I hear Alex and Claudia?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Is actually any other council member comments or questions?
Yeah, so with is this going to be something more than what we normally do now? Is because normally we just, like, whenever we do a project, we just kind of have the city plaque that says, these are the council members, this is the city manager, and this is the day we did the ribbon cutting.
Right.
Is this going to be something in addition to that, or?
Well, that's what we're that's what the ad hoc.
I just don't see the use of it right now.
Well, that's the reason for the ad hoc committee, is to give me direction in terms of how they want to proceed. For example, you have a Parks Commission, you have an oversight board. Do we want to recognize them, and how do you want to recognize them? So rather than leave that to staff to determine, I'd like to have the council give me direction on how they want to do that.
And then it will come before us, the council.
Come before and then the recommendation become before the council.
Yeah, I mean, I see this as just the ad hocs are not making the final decision, but I just kind of think that the way we've done it in the past is the way we should be doing it. Just, whatever we've done for every other plaque in the city should be the same thing. But I'll go ahead and I'll make the motion to.
Actually, you know what? I'm sorry. Councilman Rodriguez brought this up. Maybe he wants to serve on it instead of me.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Which is,
What do you guys want to do? I mean, I think that it's important. I mean, the reason I brought it up was because of Dave Gaffin. He was the reason I brought it up. And I think that anybody that serves within look, we get elected to be up here. But anybody that gives their time and a service, I think that they deserve some form of recognition. Way before I got elected, my name's out there in front of that Veterans Memorial out front. And I gave a lot of my time. I paid a lot of my own money to help get that thing in the ground. And you know what? My name's on it. I didn't ask for it. But the guys before me, Mario, Roger, those guys, Mike Murray, myself, Johnny Venegas, we were the guys that did the homework. And so I think that the Oversight Committee, those guys are doing the same thing. They're making sure that our city is spending the money like they're supposed to with Measure S, and they've done a very good job with the parks and all of our spending thus far. And I think that that's one reason I brought it up. And Dave passing was just like the frosting on the cake. So no, I'm okay with any of us. I think that was a purpose behind it. As long as everybody knows going into this thing, that was a purpose.
You brought it up, and I know I said first I wanted to be on it. If you want to be on it, I'm perfectly fine not being on it since you brought it up.
Okay, more than happy to. I'd love to. Thank you.
So I have Rick and Claudia. Okay. Now
I'll make the motion to pass it, but again, I don't see the need for it. So, but I'll make the motion.
Thank you. Oh, before that, we take that motion, I'm going to open this item up for public comment. Members of the public wishing to address the council regarding item number 23 may now call our teleconference line at 56622. For those who submitted comments via email, your comments will be read into the record, and no further public comment via teleconference will be permitted. Members of the audience who wish to address the council regarding this item number 23, may now come forward and form a line while maintaining social distancing. You may come forward, Mr. Herman.
Madam Mayor, and elected officials. Bonds and taxes have overlapped due to the effect that Measure S did not, and I'll emphasize that, did not complete its task. A pattern and practice of bad government, bad city management, bad administration. What do I mean by that? Well, I recognize that the so-called benefits don't benefit the taxpayers who could afford it. It forces those immigrants who could just pay their rent and just can pass by with 2 to 3 jobs in a day to make ends meet, find out that they cannot live within their own community.
Mr. Herman, please stay on topic.
Because of the bond and tax overlap that I am talking about. The same shit Biden talked about, build back better. Now, is Downey in the interest of build back better? Or is it simply to mislead that our fire chiefs, 2 stations couldn't be completed under Measure S? By far more important to me and the public than bullshit parks that we can go anywhere out of Downey and be in a park. Anywhere. Any goddamn place out of Downey, in a park, in a river, in a lake, and yet our fire chief struggles to maintain 2 adequate fucking stations that can't be open on time under Measure S. Now there's something fucking wrong here. Something seriously wrong. And I don't know how to count because some jackass told me that a triad is 3. But in my mathematic conclusion, 1 + 1 + 1 is 3. And I figured that out a long time ago. So the public should know that at this point of discussion of bond and taxes, it's unfair to the minority, people living in poverty, and the fire chief and his team losing out on 2 fire stations because they have to wait for more fucking money to be burned. And as they said at one meeting a time ago, let the roof burn. We don't need no water. Let the fucking building burn.
Can we clean the area, please?
Sterilize it.
Okay, so my comment is about the this proposal to have this special ad hoc subcommittee. So like Councilmember Ashton, I think it seems like kind of a frivolous activity. You guys could get it done in the way that you usually do. So I don't understand the use for, either your time or, maybe, there's better purposes. You can certainly come to an agreement about, what names to put on the plaque. You don't need a special subcommittee. That's just government wasted time. You don't need a special subcommittee. You're wanting to put one on for unknown reasons. Maybe there's some politicking somewhere. But I think, if you're going to establish these special subcommittees, how about, you think about, establish truly affordable housing, subcommittees, or, truly accountable government subcommittees. Why is there a special need for this subcommittee? The last subcommittee you tried to set up to, attempt to find ways of censoring the public. That didn't go well. It didn't pass, thankfully. But this one sounds like, thank you. So this one sounds like it might pass, but I think it's just it seems like kind of a waste of your time. I know that you value your time. That's very clear. So I don't understand why you need this special time wasting thing. You know, there's various other things you could be doing, especially again in an election year when you have Ms. Pacheco, you have your opponent proposing a housing authority, because clearly we do need a housing authority in the city of Downey, like the city of Los Angeles. So why is all this time being wasted on what names to put on a plaque? There are far better uses for the council members' times. Of course, you're going to pass it for unknown reasons to the public, but you will. It sounds like you're passing it, but it's a waste. It's a government waste. It's a waste of council members' times. Stop it with the frivolous subcommittees, and especially also the frivolous lawsuits. So use your time better. Say thanks.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to comment? City Clerk Duarte, do we have any speakers on the phone?
We do not, Mayor.
City Clerk Duarte, do we have any written correspondence to be read into the record?
We do not.
Is there a motion and a second?
So moved.
I move to close public comment.
Thank you, Claudia. City Clerk Duarte, can we take a roll call vote, please?
So you had a motion by Councilmember Ashton. Do we have a second?
Who's the second?
I second.
Oh. Okay.
Claudia made the
Claudia
second.
second.
Yes.
Okay.
City Clerk Duarte, can we take a roll call vote, please?
Yes, Mayor. Councilmember Ashton?
Yes.
Councilmember Rodriguez?
Yes.
Councilmember Saab?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Frometa?
Yes.
And Mayor Pacheco?
Yes.
Thank you. The motion is approved unanimously.
Thank you. City Manager Livas, do you have any comments?
Madam Mayor, no, I have no comments tonight.
Madam
you.
Mayor, real quick, thank you, Alex, for doing that. Thank you for letting me.
Thank you. Thank you for serving.
We are now going to adjourn the meeting in memory of all lives affected by COVID-19. Nancy Lopez, 29, Board of Directors and chaperone for the Miss Downey Court. Jose Ronaldo Fernandez, Downey resident. Valentin Martinez, Los Angeles police officer. Gabby Rodriguez, mother of Long Beach Mayor Robert Garcia. John Lewis, member of the U.S. House of Representatives. And Jose J. Perez, firefighter with the Los Angeles Fire Department and past ambulance operator with the Downey Fire Department. A moment of silence. Meeting adjourned.